All right, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm here at one of my favorite farming spots, and we are going to do a short video, or hopefully short video, on basically everything Paladin AoE tanking involved, like the gear, everything. Okay. All right. So to begin with, I guess I'll show my talents. I'm your typical Holy Reckoning build. The only difference between this build is that I'm a PvP spec, so I got 3 points in one-handed specialization. If I was a raid spec, this is the exact same spec you would use, except you take those 3 spare points and you put like at least 2 of them in Lasting Judgment, if not all 3 in Lasting Judgment. That way you can be a judging paladin in a raid. All right, cool. But this is also one of the specs that can AoE farm, and is one of the reasons why Holy Reckoning, Blessing of Sanctuary, No Holy Shock is absolutely amazing. Okay, so I brought some gear with me, and we should probably talk about it, and I'll showcase it a little bit here. So we got this. I'll talk about that in a second. Oh my God, do I hate that thing. We got Force Reactive Disc here. We can show you how that's going to work. We got, ooh, can I even use it? Yeah, we're good. Skull Flame Shield is a ubiquitous one. Argent Defender, if blah, blah, blah. We'll just go through them. Okay. So, Skull Flame Shield. Let's bring it down here. Let's bring down the stuff that we're actually supposed to use. Okay, we'll put it at the bottom here. This is the stuff that you're supposed to use. And Demon Forge Breastplate, not Argent Defender. Okay, and this other stuff is optionary. All right, cool. So why do you typically use Skull Flame Shield? Because Skull Flame Shield, the 3% proc chance to lifesteal 35 life from a target enemy when you're struck, that is a 100% spell power ratio behind it. The AoE fire has no spell power ratio behind it. But because it has a 100% spell power ratio behind it, you'll get quite a bit of life from Skull Flame Shield, and actually does quite a bit of a fair bit of AoE damage depending on how many mobs you pull. Demon Forge Breastplate says when struck has a 3% chance of stealing 120 life from the attacker over 4 seconds. Do not be fooled by the tooltip here. This is a blacksmith crafted item requiring demonic runes, which you will typically farm in this area right here in Fellwood. This thing has a high base heal. It'll heal for 120 life over 4 seconds, but it also has a 60% spell power ratio behind it. So Demon Forge Breastplate is kind of a big, is also one of the things you typically wear. Not always though, because it takes the place of like a Judgment breastplate, which has a like 25 spell power and MP5 and good stats and yada yada yada. But Demon Forge Breastplate is a thing. Essence of Pure Flame is just a damage buff. It's actually a really, really good damage buff, so it gets used. And Uther's Strength is one of the best trinkets in the entire game. We even use this in PvP at level 60. Uther's Strength is absolutely effing amazing. It only says it has a 2% chance to proc, but the shield that it procs, it at least has 400 HP. I'm not entirely convinced it doesn't have 600 HP. I think it varies between like 400 and 600 HP, but it definitely at least has 400 HP shield. This thing is absolutely ridiculous. There's a trinket you can get in Blackrock Depths that I don't have, where it's like a percent chance on hit, like 1% chance when you get hit, or maybe more, that you take like 10% less damage for like the next 10 seconds. That damage reduction is after armor. And when you start combining that with other after armor abilities like your block value and Blessing of Sanctuary, the next thing you know, you take like jack shit worth of damage. But Uther Strength is a really good pairing for that. But if you have the Blackrock Depths trinket, you might consider you'd have a Uther Strength and then the Blackrock Depths trinket. Pure Flame is a very good substitute, however, just because it's just massive damage. We got to talk about this ring. So other shield options are Force Reactive Disc. I'll showcase this in a moment. Force Reactive Disc is amazing for large pools. It is by far the best damaging shield in the game. The electrical damage that it does is about 30, but it is every block. You can pair it with Argent Defender, which is another really good shield. Swapping back and forth between these two to get some insane actions going. So, for example, you wear the Argent Defender shield until you get its proc, and then you switch over to Force Reactive Discs, and you're just this monstrosity of AoE damage at that point. The problem with Force Reactive Disc, and it's not a problem on Era, but it is a problem on fresh servers, is that the durability of this item decreases substantially with every block, to the point where after a few pulls of this thing, it will be red. And not just pulls. I mean, like, you do like the Zul'Farrak Graveyard Farm, like twice, and your force reactive disc needs to be repaired for full, which can cost a fair bit of gold. It's like 5 or 6 gold to repair this thing entirely. On Era, that's not a problem because we are absolutely swimming in gold. Like, inflation has made this thing, and actual goldflation has made this thing completely viable. On a fresh server, super not viable for force reactive disc. Far better off with Skullflame Shield. Argent Defender is a very good substitute if you don't have a good shield, like if you don't have Skullflame Shield, for example. Why? This is one of the shields you need to be really careful in the game that you don't fail to get. Because it is a quest reward. It's a rep quest reward from Strat for the Argent Crusade in like Stratholme, basically. And you can get this as a quest reward item, or you can get some other item. And if you get some other item and not this shield, you might regret it. But this is one of the best AoE tanking shields in the game if you don't have Skullflame Shield or Force Reactive Disc. Considering the gold costs, this is your go-to shield until you get a Skullflame Shield, basically. All right, we can talk about this. We showcase this. Let me show you guys some stuff, and then we can come back over here and talk about this stupid thing. Screw it, I'll just talk about it right now. This stupid trinket. Oh, dear God, help me, this stupid trinket. Oh, I didn't read Argent Defender. Argent Defender says has a 1% chance when struck in combat to increase chance to block by 50% for 10 seconds. You pair that with Force Reactive Disc, which says when the shield blocks, it releases an electrical charge and damages all enemies nearby. This also has a chance of damaging the shield. Okay? All right, cool. Wrath of Cenarius, a lot of guys tell you, ooh, Wrath of Cenarius, get this. This ring sucks. All right, this ring hurt me in ways you can't understand. This ring literally went out, cheated on me, had a child, didn't tell me about it with like some other man, and now I'm paying child support for it because I live in the state of California. This ring is cancerous ass. It takes a lot of time and energy and money to get this ring. And how it works, and this is going to be a mouthful, but just bear with me here, is that it has a 3% chance to proc. Ugh, it has a 3% chance to proc per mob that it hits per GCD that is used, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So, for example, if there's 10 mobs around me and I cast Consecration, it's not every tick of Consecration that has a chance to proc this thing. It's only the initial cast of Consecration. It'll go. The cast of Consecration will go out. It'll hit like 10 mobs. It'll multiply the number of mobs that it hits by 3%. So it'll give me a 30% chance to activate this ring. And then every tick afterwards does nothing. Okay, so it's only per GCD used per mob hit. So if you're a mage with Arcane Explosion, this ring is fucking amazing. If you're paladins who only can do any kind of AoE GCD usage once every 8 seconds, this ring sucks. Yeah, I hate this ring. All right, so I'm going to get geared up, and we're going to get on out here, and I'm going to show you some interesting stuff. I am missing my other spell power ring. So usually, this is another reason why the Wrath of Cenarius ring sucks. By the time you get the Wrath of Cenarius ring, you will have gotten enough rep with the Cenarian Circle that you can go get the Bronze Dragonflight ring, which is right here. And the Bronze Dragonflight ring compared with even something as simple as a Nagerling ring, and you can also double up on the Nagerling ring. We'll talk about that later. Pair that with a Band of Servitude from Zul Karub, which is also really easy to get, and it's so much better than Wrath of Cenarius. But there's arguments for Wrath of Cenarius. The increase in spell power does synergize well with Skullflame Shield healing, and does synergize very well with Demon Forge Breastplate healing. And if you're using Manslayer, it synergizes very well with Manslayer healing. Manslayer healing has a 100% spell power ratio behind it, blah, 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 blah. But you're better off using this item right here, which is Edward the Odd. Hopefully Edward the Odd is self-explanatory. Chance on hit, next spell, cast within 4 seconds is instant. It's got a low proc chance, but it doubles with SOR, but that doesn't really matter because we're going to be using double Seal of Wisdom here. Its base proc chance, I think, is like... it's like 2.7% proc chance. So with SOR, which is how I know it more often, it's like a 5.4% proc chance per hit. But this thing has an absolutely insane HPS stat behind it. It's like, I clocked it one time, I think. It's like 105 HPS. When you're swinging this weapon, your paladin might as well have 105 healing per second. She can be finicky, but this thing shits on so many classes in PvP. It is absolutely insane. All right, so we're going to put on our Edward the Odd. We got our Demon Forge breastplate here. We got as much tier 2 as we can possibly fit on our Paladin, which is the proper way to do things. We're going to wear a Skullforged shield. And is there anything else that I want? I think we're good to go. Yeah, we're just missing the ring here. I can probably showcase it in this, but yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, we'll put on the Wrath of Cenarius rather than the Band of Reckoning. But you can see my HP goes super, super low. All right, let's get our proper auras together. Let's make sure we have the right seals going. Now, we're not here to test out the stuff. So, because I'm going to have trouble talking once we get into the combat, I'm going to talk right now. When you see a mob turn green and green numbers start popping up over him, that's going to be the Demon Forge breastplate popping. They cause the target to look like they're poisoned, so the target will turn green. If you see massive, like, AoE bursts of damage or some crap like that, that's going to be the Skull Flame Shield going off. If I just randomly heal for no reason, that's going to be Skull Flame Shield. Edward the Odd will create this weird little boing, like bubble thing around me, which is kind of cool. And I'll just instantly heal myself all of a sudden. Hopefully I'll tell you what that is. Wrath of Cenarius will just have a little proc up here on the top of the screen. Uther Strength Shield will activate as a bubble around me, blah, 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 blah. All right, let's go say hi to the Horde. What is this guy? Troll Hunter. I think he's just stuck here waiting for the thingy. Not in combat. We're just going to say hi to the hunter here. Nothing to do. He knows we're not trying to mess with him or anything. He's here for the Whipperroot tuber spawn, which is fine. Okay, cool. So I want to show you guys something a little important here. So you can see that these guys are spellcasters, because you guys were talking about like AoE farming like spellcasters and stuff, right? These guys back here are spellcasters. And they're kind of nasty and annoying to deal with. Usually I go Shadow Resist Aura for this particular pull. But I'm going to pull just about every mob in this area. I'm going to get a big fat stack of mobs, and I want you to watch what happens when I bubble. You don't want to pull casters into an AoE type scenario unless you specifically have bubble available to you. Oh god, I guess I need to talk about this in rotation and stuff. But basically, when you bubble with spellcasters, they stop casting spells, then run over and they start trying to beat you to death. So you can actually pool all the spellcasters together and start AoEing them down, as long as you have bubble. When you're doing your pulls, and I suppose I can talk about this later, but you really want to pull when you have at least bop available to you or you have bubble available to you. But let's just get it on, because I'm sick and tired of talking. All right, so we're going to come out here. We're going to get all our boys together. We're going to say, hi, what's up? Hi, what's up? Hi, what's up? Are we cool now? Are we cool? Okay, cool. So we're going to come over here. We're just going to bubble early. Now watch what happens to all the caster mobs. They're just going to come right out. I want to find a caster mob, and I want to double wisdom on him. And I want to keep consecration up. And I want to try to use this if it's not too late. Okay, that was an Edward the Odd. I just used the Wrath thing, and it cast instantly as opposed to a cast timer. So I guess I had Edward the Odd active at that time. I want to get this branch out of the way. Okay, so that's Uther's Strength proccing right now. Did we kill everything? My bad. My bad. My bad, my bad, my bad. Nothing to really talk about. My bad. That was probably the Demon Wrath just killing everything. Let's just go away. Alright, so everything died, as you can see. I don't think we learned anything. I think we need like a slower fight where I can talk a little bit better. Yeah, I don't think we learned anything. I also think I didn't have time to look at what the hell happened, so I didn't have time to really talk. Let's find a smaller little pack of mobs and let them beat on me a bit, and we can talk about what the hell is going on. Ooh, maybe we should showcase Force Reactive Disc by comparison. Alright, so we're going to do Force Reactive Disc here. We don't have Bubble, but there's not a lot of casters in here. So we're going to aggro this guy. Hello, how are you? Going to aggro these guys. Hello, how are you? Come over here, aggro these guys. It's not the seal I wanted. There's the seal I wanted. Double judge the seal. Down goes Consecration. Notice the ring did not activate. But you can see all these little like 50, it's not the 59 numbers. It's like the 33 numbers and stuff. You can see all the lightning bolts going out, right? Boom, boom, boom. That's all Force Reactive Disc. Okay, now the spell thing is active on like the second Consecrate. I'm curious if if the spell. No, there's no way the spell thing activates with Force Reactive Disc. I've never tested this before, but I guess we'll see. That probably wasn't worth it. Edward the Odd is active, so I'm just going to heal myself. I look up here because there's too much shit going on down here, right, to see what's going on. So Uther's Strength activated. Everything's about close to dying, so I want to rank 1 Consecrate. Edward the Odd is back up. Might as well do a Flash of Light. Edward the Odd's back up again. Might as well do another Flash of Light. Takes longer, so I'm trying to showcase stuff. I don't think I saw any Demon Forge Breastplate activation in that one. There's too much of a light show going on with Force Reactive Disc. But let's see what Force Reactive Disc's durability was. It used to be full, and we lost 4 durability on that pull, basically. That's the TLDR of that. We can try Argent Defender, but let's get some Skullflame Shield, and I'm just gonna chill on this next Bob pull because I just wanna show some stuff. Did everybody kill everything out here? Okay, there's a lot of Spellcasters out here. Yeah, we'll just face tank these Spellcasters. It's not that big deal. All right, come on, come on, come on over. Okay, cool. No, we'll showcase that when we get into Tenacious here. Okay, yeah, the green shit on this guy. You can see the green stuff and the random heals. That's a Demon Forge Breastplate active. Yeah. You put that crap on me. Thank you. All right, so that 360 heal, that was Skullflame Shield. That's Uther's Strength going off. Yep. And we'll just get some mana back real fast, because Edward the Odd is Edward the Odd. Well, that's 30. Life Steal is Life Steal on Edward the Odd. That green stuff over there is going to be Demon Forge Breastplate. That big number right there is Skullflame Shield. Plenty of stuff to see, right? Okay, cool. All right, well, I'm going to end these guys real fast here. So we're going to Bop. We're going to Holy Wrath. We're going to make sure we're max rank consecrating as soon as possible. Everybody died, which is what they do. We're going to reseal up. Why are we not attacking anything? What's going on here? Oh, I'm out of mana. That'll do it. And the Demon Forge Breastplate should kill him. Okay, cool. All right, let's go to Tenacious and talk about some stuff here for a sec. I pretty much did everything I wanted to talk about here, and I have a hearth in Tenacious. So I'm going to talk about gearing for a second and what life looks like when you start in general. But basically, this Paladin here is too powerful. He just kills things too quickly, which is problematic. Not this place. All right, come on. Let's get back into some PvP gear here. Marshals, sure. Marshals, sure. Marshals, sure. Why not? Get the hell out of the shield. Why am I in... Oh, I'm busy. Okay. Are we good to go? Are we actually in PvP gear? We're missing Thick Obsidian, and I think we're good. No. We're missing something. Definitely not trinkets that we're missing. Where's the other trinket? Come on. Where'd you get off to? Goblin Mortar, where you at? There you are. Scenarius is the fucking thing. Jesus, okay. Go away. Go away, I hate you. Go away. Okay, yeah, Naggerling Ring is actually better than like 10 stamina, armor, inflict 3 damage to attacker, increase defense by 5. You get these from Blackrock Depths really easily. You can have 2 of them. Really, really good ring for a poor paladin. Why is my HP still so fucking low? Who made my HP so low? Unacceptable. What the hell is wrong with my gear? I'm missing a judgment. What? No way. Breastplate, crown, gauntlets, and leg plates. So I'm 3-piece marshals is what you're telling me. Okay. So we need this, but that's still not right. Okay. No, that's right. I don't want to go out here without my PvP gear, just in case some weird stuff happens. We're still recording. Yeah, we're still recording. Okay, cool. We're good. Got that. Oh, let me show you guys something really important for paladins in general, but for like PvP. I want you to watch me get a food buff really fast here. So these wild blossom berries are from Fellwood, where we were. When you cleanse the bushes and you get the berries, they say restores health, rest remain seated, also increase your stamina by 10 for 10 minutes. Watch me put this thing on. Watch me activate my auto run and then just get my food buff. Boom, I have a food buff. I didn't even have to do anything. Super good for PvP. Super good for battlegrounds. These things are super easy to get, absolutely amazing, and it just gives any PvPer like an extra 100 HP, no problem. You can even use them in duels, because if they give you the opportunity to food buff up in a duel, I mean, who's going to tell you that you can't do that? All right, so what I'm doing out here specifically in this area is when you reach level 41 as a paladin, that's when your AoE ability comes online, because that's when you can get Blessing of Sanctuary and Consecration at the same time. However, people have asked me, like, where do you go to farm? Like, that kind of stuff. What kind of mobs do you pull? Blah, 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 blah. When I'm a fresh level 40-ish paladin, I haven't done this in years, this is where I farm. I come out here and I just gather up the raptors. I'm going to show you how this is done. So you can see I have max rank consecration down here, but I have rank 1 consecration up here. And you just run around, and I'm going to have trouble aggroing these guys because I'm level 60, but that's just going to add to things. Also don't want to be this aura, but you use rank 1 consecrations to gather up the mobs. Until you got, like, the proper pack of mobs. Jesus, I forgot I'm a level 60, so that guy didn't aggro. And then when you got enough mobs that you gathered them up, as many as you like, you just stop and you basically AoE them down, right? But you're going to be using double Seal of Wisdom. So you're going to be judging Wisdom and using Seal of Wisdom. I want this Basilisk on, so we're going to do double Seal of Wisdom on him. And you just, use the fastest one-handed weapon possible, like a knightly longsword, double Seal of Wisdom. You might have to bop, you might have to bubble. So like here, for example, if I had to bop, I would bop and I would bandage. Oh, wow, they do fire things, so the bandage isn't the greatest idea in the world. We'll talk about that in a second. But you'd bop and you'd bandage, you'd re-put down your... try to time it so your consecrations are always down. So that was a bad bop. But yeah, this is just basically what you do. And that took just about as long as it would take too, which is kind of sad. But yeah, so I'll just keep going down here and I'll kill all these mobs. And this transitions into another pack of mobs. So full disclosure, you need to be really careful what mobs you're pulling to AoE tank. So as you saw there, we had the flying rocks that throw fireballs. So bandaging will be a problem. We had a bunch of basilisks there. And the basilisks are nasty because they will stun you. The hyenas are good, though. All they do is they put some stupid, open wound stuff on you. The scorpions can be annoying because they'll put a bunch of stacking poison on you. Blah, 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 blah. Just be careful what mobs you're pulling. Like, if you're like, I'm going to pull 5 basilisks, and you get stunned or silenced into oblivion and just die. I mean, what the hell are we doing? But this is really nice because you can see all these hyenas here. So if I was pulling these pack of hyenas, I would, put a rank 1 consecration down, stun him, judge this guy as I'm passing through. I probably should do Edward the Odd. We're going to throw down another rank 1 consecration because you see the guy in the back. He'll run through that in a second, and it'll keep him in aggro. And now I've got my 4 mobs together, so we're just going to start the AoE fest. And, double judgment, Seal of Light. And then just kill one of the mobs as quickly as possible. So, pull 4 mobs, kill one of them as quickly as possible. Don't even think, oh, if I tab target over. So, if we tab target over to the next highest health guy, we continue with our double wisdom and our fastest one-handed weapon speed possible, which in this case I'm using an Edward the Odd, but Edward the Odd is 1.6 speed, and you just keep AoEing them. At some point... you're going to want to stop max rank consecrating here. You're not going to want to judge anymore. And you're just going to want to use rank 1 consecrations until everybody dies. It's a mana saving thing. It's not worth judging it anymore. All right, so this is one of my favorite farming spots. So I'll do the hyenas on these bones. I'll do the guys in these bones over here. I'll do the guys in these bones over here. These mobs I think are level 47, 44. Yeah, really good. Another great place, and I'll pause the video. Do I have anything to talk about real fast? Is the turtles on these coasts over here. But I want to show you what's on the bones over here before we talk about the turtles on the coast, are another really good mob to AoE down. They're heavily armored, which doesn't matter for us. People don't like messing with them too much and blah, 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 blah. We come over here and you can see that we got more rocks. We got more hyenas, but these guys are level 44 now. So the guys over there were level 47. These guys are level 44, level 43. Once you find an AoE farm spot for you as a paladin, that's kind of where you live for a few levels. Like, I'm not joking. So it's not like I found level 40 mobs to AoE grind on. I just AoE grind them for like 1 or 2 levels. It's like, no, you're going to be there for like 3, maybe 4 levels before you move on to the next spot. So you can see down here, they're even lower level. They're level 42. So these guys are level 42 right here, level 43. Those guys are level 44, blah, 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 blah. Then further on, they became level 47. The Dew guys over here are pretty decent AoE farm. Some of the Ogres are a pretty decent AoE farm. I'm about to show you what you do at like level 41 or something. We're going to go over to find the turtles. I'm going to pause the video real fast. All right, we are approaching the coast. That's not what I wanted. And you can see there's a guy here already farming turtles. Why that is at level 45, I don't know. That's definitely some bot vibes, or he's practicing for hardcore or something. That's weird. But I'm going to show you what the coastline looks like here. So one really good reason for AoE farming this coastline in particular is this is where stone scale eel pools happen, where you can get stone scale eels. And if you watch like the previous video and whatnot, you would know that those armor potions are absolutely, completely, ridiculously fucking amazing. So that guy over there has been killing the turtles. Normally there'd be like a lot of turtles in the beach here, so I guess I'm just going to take you on a tour. But the turtles like spawn all over this beach until you get into like the pirate area practically. But normally there'll be turtles all over the place here, and you can just gather them up with rank 1 consecration, AoE them down. Like usually you'll only gather like 3 turtles. So there's like a bunch of different gathering methods basically for AoE Paladin. You can usually if the mobs are really spread out, you'll gather 3 and then AoE them down. And if the mobs are a bit denser, you'll gather 4 or 5 and then AoE them down. It's all about the same, believe it or not. Whether you're AoEing down 3 or you're AoEing down 5, it's literally all about the same. So this is a bit more accurate of how the turtles would be. So you can see that we got a couple turtles down here. So I'm going to use Judgment on this turtle here. Hey, come back here. What the why are you a million miles away? Hey, thank you. Jesus. An ocean away, Senor Turtle. I probably, maybe I should have taken these turtles over there. But I guess I'll just take the turtles over to here. So you'll take the time to gather up the turtles. Not that big of a deal. Ooh, let's get a 4th turtle. All right, cool. And then you just start your AoEing process. Let's tab targ over to a guy that we already had Judgment of Wisdom on, so we're not wasting my Judgment. Where the hell is my Blessing of Sanctuary? Okay, cool. And you just kill one of the mobs as quickly as you possibly can. AoE them down, blah, 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 blah. Nothing to really see here. This is a very peaceful location to be doing stuff like this. Out of the way. And you can see this pool right here. So this is a Firefin Snapper. That sells really good on the auction house. So if you're fishing, it's really good to pair with fishing because, of course, you know, while you're fishing, you're regenerating mana. So you get gold, which gives you better gear, blah, 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 blah. But there's a lot of stone scale eel mobs that spawn here. And on hardcore, that's super valuable. That's basically pure gold. So another Firefin Snapper that's actually worth a fair bit, but only on a PvP server. I don't know how much Firefin Snapper is worth. I'm looking for non-Firefin Snapper, but there's going to be other horde out here, like, you know, literally fishing the area, so it's not that big of a deal. If you want to fight, we can fight, dude. He's worried I'm fishing, but I'm not trying to fish. So he's like, do I need to fight this Paladin to get rid of him? Yeah. That's what he was up to. All right, so what else is there to talk about? Okay, I'm going to log out here, end the video. I'm actually going to log out right next to this guy just to make sure he doesn't worry too much. And I want to show you guys this. So the next video after this that I'm planning on making is I'm going to actually compare AoE farming, like what it looks like early level, to any other possibility, like stamina, strength gear, because I get a lot of people in comments, or I get some crazy people in comments more likely, that keep talking about how I am insane for thinking that AoE farming is better, DPS-wise, XP-wise, safety-wise, and all that stuff than being two-handed Paladin, level 60, level 42 onwards, which is just nuts. But in that video, I'll talk about gearing when you're a fresh AoE farming Paladin, yada, yada, yada. TLDR on that, however, is that heavy mithril breastplate, if you can't get of the eagle gear, heavy mithril breastplate are made by blacksmiths, and they're required for blacksmiths to level. And it's a super good piece of gear. Probably the best example I can give here are these gauntlets. So if you want to find them, you just type in myth in the gear planner and you look for heavy mithril gauntlet. And the next best thing would be something like this, like a random, like of the eagle. But let's just compare this for a second. Why is that so low? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, you're doing the stupid thing. Yeah. Okay, let's do this better. Okay, my bad, because it's titled mithril. So if I scroll down here real fast, the mithril should pop up. Random enchantment, random enchantment, random enchantment. We're just going to compare it. Bloodforged gauntlets, or you do have of the eagle. Okay, so 10, 10. That's the best possible of the eagle here in our gear planner. So let's compare and contrast here. Why? Oh, what are you? Oh, you're a drop? Right, you're probably really hard to get your hands on or really expensive. Why is this thing so badass? Okay, this must be like a really high level bit that just drops somewhere. Look how badass this is. Look at the armor. It's more armor than the heavy mithril. Holy crap. Okay, this is more like, oh, is it even plate? Yeah, it's plate. Weird. Huh. That's just stupid. Come on, find me some plate mail. So if you can get those gloves, holy crap, get those gloves. So that's not a good comparison. That's like entirely not even legit. All right, this is better. Requires level 40, 233. Why is the heavy mithril armor so bad? Am I just stupid and I just missed that the heavy mithril armor is bad here? That is weird. All right, well, I guess I'm stupid and I missed that the heavy mithril armor is actually bad here. That's interesting. All right, so of the eagle, stamina eagle gear. Okay, cool. I know it works in the chest plate. All right, fine. Let's go find an of the eagle random enchant chest plate. No, not mail, not leather, not cloth, not another cloth. Thank you very much. Ancient test piece. Mail, cloth, mail, Warbringers, level 41. Okay, cool. So this is how it's supposed to look when things aren't stupid. If you see an item that has green armor, what this means is that the gear is splitting its available stats between the stats that you see on the thing and bonus armor. And if I come down here and I go of the eagle and I get like the best possible of the eagle gear for this Warbringer's chest guard, we can compare the two. So you can see that I'm gaining about 90 armor, like literally 90 armor, but it's at the expense of 90 armor and then like plus 2 stamina, but at the expense of losing like, a possible 18 intellect. Why might you want heavy mithril gear being an early paladin as opposed to of the eagle gear? It's because the heavy mithril gear is super cheap on the auction house, so it's much easier to get. Whereas the of the eagle gear, especially the closer it is to level 41, which is exactly level 41, is going to be usually significantly more expensive. So this is more of a budget paladin AoE build, and you can see that I have heavy mithril helm is not of the eagle, and the chest is not of the eagle, and the boots this is not of the eagle, and the boots are not of the eagle. I do, however, have 2 up-to-date of the eagle rings, which of the eagle rings are actually really, really expensive because mages use them for AoE farming, but they might be cheaper on hardcore because AoE farming mages are insane and are probably all dead by the time they're level 40 or soon to be dead. Also highly suggest Goblin Mortar and Major Recombobulator Ray. Major Recombobulator is relatively cheap. Blah, 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 blah. It gives you like 500 health and mana on average. Amazing emergency trinket. Goblin Mortar is amazing also for AoE farming, but it's mostly for emergencies. If AoE farming isn't going super good for whatever reason, you looks like you're in trouble, out comes the Goblin Mortar, and it will super save your ass for a million years. Goblin Mortar it's really cheap to reload this thing. It costs like 1 mithril bar to reload this thing. However, unless they fix it on a hardcore, it can backfire and possibly kill your paladin. It'll do like 2,000 fire damage and kick you like super high up into the air, where you'll like die to fall damage. Really easy to get around this though, because it's like a 10-second reload timer and your bubble lasts 12 seconds. So you either reload it yourself as a paladin, or you find another high-level paladin, because you can trade these things. It's kind of funny. Once you reload these things, they become tradable again, which is actually kind of amusing. The high-level paladin can actually reload an empty Goblin Mortar and then give you the Goblin Mortar. You just pay him gold. It's kind of funny, but Basically, I guess that wouldn't work. Does that work? Whatever. It's stupid. Once you reload it, they become tradable, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, you can reload these things on your own eventually. It's not that big of a deal. And they're super cheap to make. In the grand scheme of things, it's not an issue. All right, cool. I'm going to end the video here. It's getting a little long. And Deus Volt Boys, I'm going to go make the video really fast, and I'll see you in that video.